You know what's a sucker to me? A sucker is a dude who pick who he fight with.
Right.
Like if you sitting and you go, I'm not going because this.
I won't fuck with him, but I'll fuck with this one.
Yeah, I think I can take him.
Right.
You want to fight? You think you?
Word on the block is Jay Prince might be pressing 50 Cent over them shots he fired at Big Meech.
Can't believe people play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect. You know, the way they do today. You know, people are telling lies for a living. You know what I mean? They actually lying to y'all for a living.
Telling him to cut it out with the rat talk, or else. But come on, we all know 50. He don't back down when heat comes his way. Never has, never will.
He didn't say nothing to whack. So when you come talking to me, I feel like you're very selective. This is exactly what I meant last week when I was talking about street is being.
This fucking rat thought he could DM me and tap him. Yo, 50 Cent, come get this fake 6-year-old kingpin out of my fucking DMs. Should've worked a regular job like my father. Big Meech, Big Screech. Yo, Lil Meech, call me Lil.
And now, it's looking like Jay Prince barked up the wrong tree with this one.
Maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, you know, is they seem to get hung up on that word checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we may want to tell them they need to get connected.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the proper word, connected, properly connected or whatnot.
Yeah, they get tripped up on the semantics.
This whole mess got layers on layers. Jay Prince's name been floating around in shady circles for years. Whispers of extortion, sketchy jewelry deals, and even some folks online hinting that him and his son might have been connected to Takeoff's tragic death. That's wild.
Yeah, they get stuck. I mean, right there you stuck. So then you stuck on stupid, right? You're stuck on stupid, and you're not using your powers or access to powers that you have. You're looking at it as a negative versus a positive. You know, we all know if you can tap into good people wherever you go.
Wherever,
You know what I mean? It's a blessing, Rip.
Real talk.
Real talk. I mean? Who want to have access to power and not use?
So if 50 really want to go in and air out Jay Prince, oh, he got ammo, plenty of it. And now 50 done slid over to Instagram, looking like he's clapping back at them so-called threats. Just his way of reminding folks that nobody checks him without feeling it.
So I had a dude call me, right? And that Junior been having some going on down there in Houston, bro. We got the media team in here. So it's an inside month. Now this month, he's the one that's tied to the dude that makes the loaded dice, right? Check the play out. All entertainers, when you go to Houston, stay away from Jay Prince Jr. The whole play going on. Here go the play right here. The play is a loaded dice. Now I'm gonna talk about something. Let me see if y'all catch up with what I'm saying.
But here's the real question. Why is Jay Prince even riding this hard for Big Meech? What did he really say to 50 behind the scenes? And is he really trying to go toe-to-toe with hip-hop's king of petty? Let's break it down. If you thought 50 was done with Meech, think again.
And watch this. And Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler around and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was however their money back. He said, but Lil Cam Wolf and Big Caprice are the three designated to say I'm up, I got the next, and they pass the dice to each other, but they loaded, but they shooting against them up whoever's in town, the entertainer. Right? They say Jay Prince Jr., he get 30% of whatever to take.
He still got his foot all the way on Meech's neck over them snitching rumors. He ain't letting up at all. But 50 ain't the only one taking shots lately. Rapper Top 5 just hopped online and flamed Big Meech, claiming the ex-Kingpin slid in his DMs.
Can y'all elaborate on Dice Game when it's tied to y'all?
I know people were associating me with that Duke the Jeweler situation because I went to Labusi pool party and he happened to be there and he happened to be standing on me. I mean, right next to me. The truth is, I never met him before. I had no idea who he is. I ain't even know he was a jeweler until after his passing. And then the night of that game isn't the night that he got leaving Boosie concert the next night because somebody tried to rob him.
In a video, dude flat out called Meech a rat and tagged 50 Cent like, "Yo, 50, come get this fake 60-year-old Kingpin out my DMs before I crash out." Then dropped the hashtag, #, big screech, ! That's crazy. And of course, 50 didn't waste a single second. He loved every second of that drama and clowned Meech even more. 50 Cent wasn't done yet.
Hey, I don't want no friends. I don't want no new relationships. All that pussy, hey, I don't respect none of that shit, man. If you got something for me, man, they got plenty of niggas around me you could call. Man, nigga, it's plenty ways you could get in touch with me. Man, don't get on no internet and do nothing publicly. Don't do nothing dealing with no publicity, none of that pussy and shit. And I'm good on the keys, gangster. When you buy shit cash, two keys come with the car anyway. Mind your f***ing business.
He went ahead and reposted Top 5's video and added his own flavor, just to keep the trolling alive and popping. While most folks in the game stayed silent, dodging all this beef between 50 and Meech, Jay Prince jumped in the mix like somebody invited him, but nobody did. Word is, Jay Prince been sneak dissing on Instagram stories, throwing shade at 50 and accusing him of clout chasing by using Big Meech's name. Seriously? He just had to insert himself, even though this had nothing to do with him from the jump. And get this, he even posted a message claiming he created the BMF brand, then deleted it real quick like we wouldn't notice. But that's just the surface. Insiders say Jay Prince been moving low-key, allegedly sending out threats and trying to get his people to put pressure on 50. But come on now, this is 50 Cent we talking about. He don't blink for nobody. He clapped back without breaking a sweat, dropped a savage clip from Training Day with a caption that hit hard. Get the message now. That's all he needed to say. Now fans all over the internet clowning Jay Prince, telling him to fall back. Cause if there's one person you don't want to go head to head with, it's 50 Cent. Not when your own track record got more dirt than a construction site. For those who don't know, Jay Prince is the CEO and co-founder of Rap-A-Lot Records, one of the OG labels straight out of Houston. He calls himself the king of H-Town, moving like he runs the whole city. There's even this unspoken rule that when big rappers land in Houston, Jay Prince pulls up like their personal security, making sure they stay in line. But let's be real, not everybody's buying that protection talk. The street's been whispering that Jay Prince and his son Jazz might be running more than a label. Some folks claiming it's a full-blown extortion game behind the scenes. And if all that wasn't shady enough, word been spreading heavy about them dice games the Prince crew be hosting in Houston. People say artists show up, hit a big win, then mysteriously get set up like someone else already planned to eat off their pockets. The whispers got real loud after Takeoff's tragic death. But truth is, Takeoff wasn't even the first one to lose his life after one of Jazz Prince's infamous dice nights. Just a couple months before that, Duke the Jeweler, straight out of Chicago, hit big at one of them games. Walked away with $100K. But before he could even make it back to his car, he got ambushed, robbed, and gunned down in cold blood. No warning, no chance. So when Takeoff's situation went down, fans started connecting dots, and a whole lot of fingers started pointing at Quavo. People online saying Quavo should have known better than to hang around J Prince and them shady mob ties, especially after what happened to Duke just weeks earlier. With all the rumors and street talk spinning around the Prince family, folks really believe Quavo should have kept his distance. Now let's talk about the man they say pulled the trigger. Patrick Xavier Clark. He was officially indicted by a grand jury for Takeoff's murder. But here's the weird part. It's been almost 3 years, and the court still ain't even set a trial date? What's really going on? And it gets way sketchier. The day after Clark got arrested, boom, he magically posted $1 million bond and walked free on house arrest, like it was nothing. Then in November 2023, the rules changed out of nowhere. He's no longer on house arrest, no ankle monitor, nothing. All they gave him was a light 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew. That's it. But hold up, it don't stop there. Court documents show Clark got hit with strict no-contact orders. He ain't allowed to speak to witnesses, victims, or even Takeoff's own family. And get this, he can't talk to J Prince Jr. either. That's got fans raising eyebrows like crazy. How do you go from being locked down for murder to moving around with just a bedtime? Something about this whole situation feels off, and the streets are watching every move. This case just keeps twisting up like a crooked game of telephone. And after all this time, there's still no trial date set. It's looking real suspect out here. And now, the latest plot twist? Patrick Xavier Clark is standing 10 toes down on his innocence. His lawyer, Letitia Canonis Hollins, just spoke to Rolling Stone and said Clark ain't the one who fired the shots that killed Takeoff, but she didn't stop there. She came straight for the investigators too, calling out their so-called evidence. She claims the ballistics and video footage don't even line up with the story they're pushing. And when that courtroom finally opens up, she's ready to shred their whole case. It was not Patrick Clark, Quinones Hollins told Rolling Stone. He was in the same position as Takeoff, just trying to get out alive. He had nothing to do with that argument. He was just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time when the bullets started flying. That's her story, and she's riding with it. Now back to them dice game rumors, because this ain't new, and folks been whispering for years about shady setups in Houston. One voice that's been the loudest? Whack 100. He ain't holding back either. He flat out put Jazz Prince on blast, saying dude runs rigged dice games and traps rappers who pull up to the city. Whack been warning artists to stay away from them dice tables, saying it's nothing but a setup disguised as a good time. He even hinted that Quavo and Takeoff might have gotten pulled into some shady dealings that night. Like maybe it wasn't just random chaos, but something more calculated. And that might have been the spark that led to Takeoff's death. When Jazz Prince finally got confronted with all this heat, he tried to shut it down fast. He claimed he ain't even know Duke the Jeweler like that, and swore up and down that his dice nights had nothing to do with either Duke's or Takeoff's death. But the streets, they ain't just taking his word for it. Too much don't add up, and people still talking. J Prince keeps brushing off all the drama like it's just noise, calling it baseless rumors. But the shady talk surrounding him and his business just won't let up. His name's been linked to extortion whispers for years, but now it's making real headlines. Just rewind to July 2020. NBA YoungBoy got hit with a straight-up robbery while in Houston. Word is, J Prince's goons rolled up to YoungBoy's Airbnb, but they didn't grab just anything. Nope. They went straight for his flashy chains and even scooped the keys to his $350,000 Bentley like they knew exactly what they came for. And instead of laying low, these dudes were bold with it. They dropped a video online, flexing while breaking in, posing with YoungBoy's stolen goods like it was a music video. They had a white Bentley, a white Rolls Royce, and a white 2020 McLaren GT, all up in the footage like trophies. But here's where it gets super shady. This wasn't just some wild smash and grab. Nah, they allegedly demanded a $30,000 ransom to return the stuff. That had people convinced this wasn't random at all. This looked like a play. One of J. Prince's old school extortion moves, dressed up as street politics. And just when it couldn't get any messier, J. Prince himself hopped on Instagram and said he had young boys' chains and car keys like it was nothing. He even invited him to come scoop them up. Like that wouldn't be a trap, but young boy wasn't having it. He saw through the whole act. He fired back hard, calling J. Prince Shady and accusing him of using the whole check-in thing as a cover to extort rappers when they pull up in Houston. According to young boy, this wasn't no help. It was a hustle. And young boy ain't the only one who's done with J. Prince's antics. Even Cameron and Ma slid some major shade his way too. They called him out for allegedly setting young boy up, and then turning a blind eye while his golden boy Drake got humbled by Kendrick Lamar. They basically said, how you gonna act like the boss of the South, but couldn't even protect your biggest artist from getting lyrically cooked? Now the beef between Cameron, Mayoff, and J. Prince really exploded when Jay tried to strong-arm them into backing off their criticism of New Jersey boxer Shakur Stevenson, who just so happens to be managed by Jay himself. Cam and Mahe weren't feeling how Stevenson handled his latest world title defense, and they made that loud and clear on their platform. They called it how they saw it. Boring, unimpressive, not worth the hype. But J. Prince, he wasn't trying to hear none of that. He slid into Instagram with a slick little warning, basically telling them to pipe down and keep Stevenson's name out their mouths. Jay wrote, "Numbers don't lie, haters do." Then threw more shade saying, "Let the haters say he's boring and nobody want to watch him. Sorry to tell you, it's just a select few of y'all. The numbers prove he had the #1 ratings on ESPN this year and the top 3 since 2022. He closed it out with a not-so-subtle threat. To all you haters who want to escalate outside the ring, I'm Shakur's manager. I handle all his business outside the ring. I will fade all his shots and take all bets." Translation? That message was aimed directly at Cam and Mae. But even with Jay throwing jabs, Cam and Mae weren't shook. Not even a little bit. People online are saying J. Prince got way too much dirt tied to his name to be out here trying to pick fights with 50 Cent. Someone who built his whole empire on pulling receipts and exposing folks. Jay might be tough in the streets, but 50's a different kind of dangerous. He turns beef into entertainment. And if 50 decides to really air J. Prince out, whoo, it's gonna get ugly. Dude got plenty of material to pull from. Rigged dice games, extortion rumors, shady business deals. The list goes on. And knowing 50, he ain't just gonna talk, he might turn the whole saga into a series or a movie and have everybody tuned in like it's primetime TV. And here's where things might really spiral, because word is, 50 Cent already digging deep behind the scenes. Sources close to him say he's been reaching out to old industry heads, ex-associates, and even former Rap-A-Lot insiders. The goal? To gather every receipt, story, and skeleton tied to J. Prince's name. And if that's true, then we're looking at a full-blown expose loading up. See, this ain't just rap beef anymore. It's starting to look like a power play. 50 knows how to pick his targets, and he don't go after small fish. If he feels like J. Prince is flexing too hard or trying to intimidate folks, he's the type to flip the whole narrative and turn Jay into the main character in a story he didn't even want to be part of. Let's not forget, 50's already hinted at turning BMF into more than just a series. He's been building a whole franchise around these street legends. And now that J. Prince is making waves trying to defend Meech, he just might get himself dragged into the spotlight in a way he can't control. People are already speculating. Will 50 throw subtle shots in future BMF episodes? Will Jay get portrayed in some shady light through a fictional character? Fans know how 50 plays. He ain't afraid to blur the lines between real life and entertainment, especially if it makes the story hotter. And while J. Prince got a long-standing name in the streets, 50 got something even more dangerous: the audience. Millions of eyes, clicks, and voices ready to ride with the drama. And when public opinion flips, it don't matter how tough your rep is in the street. Once the internet turns on you, it's game over. So now the question is, will J Prince try to clap back harder? Or will he realize that beefing with a media mastermind like 50 Cent is like walking into a trap with cameras rolling? Either way, this saga's far from over, and the next move could be explosive. But what do y'all think about J Prince jumping headfirst into this whole Big Meech mess? Allegedly sending out threats to 50 Cent, was that a smart move? Or is he low-key playing himself by stepping to one of the pettiest and most relentless dudes in the game? Does Jay actually have a case to stand on? Or is this just another chapter in a long line of power plays and intimidation tactics? We want to hear all your thoughts, so drop them in the comments below. Don't hold back. And if you've been locked in with this saga, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update. This story's only heating up. See you in the next one. It's about to get even crazier.